the heart of Africa's fintech revolution stands one man whose vision and dedication have shaped the financial landscape. Dr. Segun Aina's journey from banking pioneer to fintech trailblazer has been nothing short of transformative.
Growing up was fun in the part of Ibadan that I was born and grew up with. And there were a lot of lessons around in terms of the need to contribute to society and the need to champion and create things rather than want to follow the ordinary course of action, given the environment that I grew up in.
Dr. Segun Aina began his career in traditional banking, but he quickly recognized that Africa's financial future was digital. In the early 2000s, he helped lay the groundwork for the fintech ecosystem by founding key organizations like the Fintech Association of Nigeria.
I worked with Dr. Aina in EcoBank, and I recall then that he was ED Operations and Technology. And he was very clear that technology was required to take banking to the people beyond the confines of the branch walls. I think that comes from his background when he worked at UBA. He saw the opportunity to bring technology and financial services together. And no wonder he set up a company called Fintech Associates before the subject or the acronym Fintech became household parlance in Nigeria and indeed in Africa. So he saw ahead of his time, but he had the courage as an entrepreneur to take the steps to get that to happen.
I met Dr. Aina, I believe, back in 2016, maybe early 2017. I was at the Nigerian Stock Exchange then. He came into my office with Femi, and it was a very interesting conversation because here is Femi Awiyemi, who I know publishes news, information, market data, with Dr. Aina talking to me about fintech and fintech ecosystem. But I just saw the passion that there is something here. There's an ecosystem that if we don't build and nourish and develop, we're going to be leaving a lot of opportunities. Dr. Aina is demonstrated exemplary leadership. He's been able to foster a community that is now not just us being the largest fintech ecosystem in Nigeria, but also the largest fintech ecosystem in Africa.
The way he had taken Fintech Association of Nigeria, because I remember being one of the pioneers on the Gulf Coast at that time, how we started, getting the regulators involved, helping with the sandbox in SEC and so on, pulling people together is one of the things I feel is Dr. Aina's key strength, getting the best out of people, getting the best people in the room to advocate and move for what he really truly believes in. It's been transformational how he's done it in Nigeria and then across Africa.
He's done a lot for fintech in Nigeria. It's interesting that even though he was not actively in fintech himself, he's been able to galvanize all the players to create a very impactful body like the FintechNGR. Very people-oriented person, good sense of humor, and very strategic. He's been able to work with diverse people to make FintechNGR what it is today.
The growth and development of the Nigerian and African fintech landscape, one of the thriving industries in the country and region, is a result of his drive for innovation and development of real-world solutions, for which his capacity to network and build bridges across the entire ecosystem, from operators to regulators, played a big role in the heavy lifting done by him and so many others. The consistency and authenticity of his words and actions have challenged many to not just be the better version of themselves, but to find purpose in nation building. His commitment to the fulfillment of Nigeria's potential has also changed the paradigm of many and catapulted numerous individuals to live into their imagination and not get stuck in their memories of bad governance.
As the world saw the rise of mobile banking, Dr. Segun Aina's influence spread beyond the borders of Nigeria. His work with startups and financial institutions facilitated innovations like mobile money services and digital payment solutions that have become lifelines for millions in Africa.
My belief in life is that you must make as many people as possible. You must turn around as many people as possible. You must impact society in a way that, society will say, hey, this man has done this, has done that. And whatever people think I've done is by the grace of God. And I believe that there's still so much to be done in this world to solve people's problems, to create wealth for people, to create satisfaction and happiness for people, so that this world will become a better place for everyone. If you are the only successful person in an environment, or you are the only rich man in your family or in your community, and you have thousands of people that are suffering, you are not rich. You're not rich because all of them will be depending on you, but teach them how to fish and not to give them fish. That has always been my philosophy in life, and I'm very happy that some of the people that I've had the opportunity of interacting with or working with or supervising, they are much, much bigger than I am in terms of societal positions and so on and so on, and that gives me joy.
Dr. Segun Aina's impact has not been limited to the continent. Through his work with organizations such as the African Fintech Network, he has become a global advocate for the role of fintech in driving sustainable economic growth.
Dr. Segun Aina is a bridge builder and one that has actually touched practically every aspect of our lives in Nigeria. He has been a leader and a starter to many firsts. First with starting up the Fintech Association of Nigeria as a core founder. That in itself is something you cannot take from him. And having to build and sustain it over time is something that we commend highly, and as an industry we have all benefited from.
Dr. Aina made us understand that that fintech is not a competitor. Fintechs are not competitors, but that they are enablers. They can actually enable, the capital markets to do better in terms of efficiency, automation, and transparency in all of that. So that became our journey. The capital markets embracing the fintech industry and vice versa.
Dr. Aina has been very instrumental in that fostering collaboration among fintech stakeholders across Africa and beyond, including startup, regulators, financial institutions, and investors, as well as all of us that were here. He coordinated and brought that leadership to bring that nexus around us. His leadership has helped to create that cohesion in the ecosystem, and which supports the growth of fintech across the continent.
Dr. Segun Aina is a transformational leader, is transactional, is strategic, and is situational. And he layers that with empathy. And I think that that has been the reason for his successful leadership, being able to start the association here in Nigeria. We started with just 5 members, and today we have 530 members, from 23 different sectors of the economy.
Dr. Aina's impact is undeniable. He has been the driving force behind technology integration into Africa's financial services through initiatives like mobile money, digital wallets, and micro-lending platforms. His efforts have empowered millions of people and businesses.
We've seen all Dr. Aina has done in creating Fintech Association of Nigeria, in creating the Africa Fintech Network. And the point is that Dr. Aina was able to pick out challenges in the ecosystem, and where some people whine around challenges, Dr. Aina creates solutions to them. And we have seen how that platform has created a very strong movement in the African Fintech ecosystem. Dr. Aina has often lent his back to young startups, entrepreneurs, and professionals who are ready to scale in terms of mentorship. He provides its resources, he provides its network, he provides its intellectual capability in really ensuring that young innovators, players, young people around him scale. Dr. Aina is a rare gem, is somebody who walked the talk, right? He epitomizes integrity, he epitomizes ethical conduct, and has helped in terms of shaping corporate governance across our ecosystem.
Dr. Segun Aina, as a role model in the fintech industry, actually stands out among other peers. Is indeed a role model to look up to, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa and also the globe. Dr. Segun Aina has built a legacy for himself, not just personal legacy, but legacy that has made people to also impact people.
As he turns 70, Dr. Segun Aina remains a mentor, advocate, and global leader in the fintech space. His legacy goes beyond his own achievement, inspiring our new generation of entrepreneurs, policymakers, and innovators.